Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are doing well. In today's video, we're gonna take a look at the upcoming Battle Pass, which will release this Thursday. I'm also gonna be testing the weapons from the Battle Pass because during the live stream, we couldn't really see what they could do. And at the end, we're also gonna be checking out the new Relic grenade launcher. Now, I do have some bad news for you guys, is that ever since the last Battle Pass, the devs no longer provide us with the recipe of the item. So there's no recipe over here for the destroyer grenade launcher, and I also don't have recipes for the new weapons from the Battle Pass. I only got recipes for the upgraded versions, which, you know, are just bearings. Alright, so starting off at level 1, you get a new profile picture of Rose. Her rank is Captain, and there's some lore behind the profile picture, but yeah, it just looks okay. After that, we get a banner customization, and at level 3 we get our first structural part, the observation compartment, which has 50% pass-through and some very interesting mounting points. It's pretty big too. This thing also has a pretty good durability to mass ratio. At level 4, some stickers, after that some coins, and at level 6 we get a new frame type, the 5x3x1. You get left corner frames and right corner frames. At level 7 we get a new Oh, this is cool. At level 7, we get a new paint, which is just called the Desert Camouflage. But if you look closely, if you guys play War Thunder, or if you guys are familiar with the history of tanks, I can't show it here, hold on. This looks like the special code that the old German World War II tanks would use against anti-tank mines. I think it's called Zemerit or something. Zemerit? Kinda cool. At level 8, more bearings. At level 9, we get our first epic part called the Outcast, and this one is kind of cool because it's very, very small. It's only a 2x2 pins wide. For some reason, I can't show you the width over here, but I'll show you on the build I have created. This new frontal wheel is the lightest out of all the frontal movement parts we have. We get the sabot, which is pretty heavy, pretty beefy, pretty thick. We got the claws, which is, you know, medium, and then we got these ones, which are the lightest and also the lowest in power score. The power score of these is only 200, tonnage is 1200 kilograms. It only drains 5% of cabin power. Durability is only 280, and the weight of it is only 140 kilograms. And the perk is pretty self-explanatory. If there are no enemies nearby within a radius of 80 meters, it increases the vehicle's maximum speed by 20%, reverse speed by 15%, and power by 60%. The more enemies that are near your build, the lower the perk will get until it completely disappears. And as always, you can mix the wheels with other wheels, but the perk will be less effective. And before I show you guys how it drives, like I said, these are only 2 pins wide, and you can pretty much put them right next to each other. I even have like 8 in the middle of my build. Now, in the stream, or during the stream, I thought these were gonna be the same height as the frames, but nope, you cannot mount things on top of them, which is, you know, kind of unfortunate. But, you know, it's not the worst thing in the world. Alright, we're gonna do a quick test from standstill, and as you will see, acceleration is really good. Now, if you look at the wheel perk, it says times 14, so I'm not sure if it stacks. I don't think so, otherwise that would be like really crazy fast. I was close to my Leviathan, so it reduced by a little bit, and if we reverse should be 15% faster or better. And it's okay, it's not the best thing in the world. And if I get close to this enemy, my Leviathan, as you can see, it reduces, but it doesn't completely go away. But the more enemies that are nearby... Oh, actually, the closer I am to the enemy, the more it reduces. Ah, okay, so it doesn't immediately go away. So that's alright. Let's see what happens if I drive past these two builds. These two are enemy builds. Oh my god, it doesn't completely go away, but it almost completely goes away. Kind of a strange perk, so you'll be able to go to an enemy really quick, like those new Triton builds that are running around. Go to the enemy really quick, and once you're there, you know, you slow down, which is fine for Triton builds. I want to quickly try these out with only a few wheels, see what happens. That's funny. Yeah, it goes really nice, and drifting, I know this is not the best optimized build, but drifting seems okay. You know, drifting is easy in this game as long as your wheel or your vehicle has a lot of power. And with this movement part, as long as you get the perk, drifting feels okay. It's just the perk seems kinda useless, you know? And if I use a fin wheel engine, it's gonna perform even better. Yeah, really quick. Reverse should also be a lot better. Yeah, 32 now. All right, cool. Yeah, so these are the new wheels. Nothing crazy, but you know, they're all right. At level 10, we get our first ever 1x5 frames, which is pretty cool. I was looking for that the other day. At level 11, more bearings. At level 12, the Outcast recipe. At level 13, a new sticker. Let me know where you are. I'm at home. At level 14, you get a banner customization of the Zamarid paint. At level 15, more coins. At level 16, a Gears container, which is equipped with more whips. Rest in wheels, bit of a sideburn insect. It seems like they're the same ones. At level 17, we get our first ever 3x5 frames as well. Very nice. At level 18, you get 2 more Outcast wheels. Oh yeah, so you get 2 the first time and 2 more the second time. So a total of 4, and you don't need steering and non-steering. All of them are just steering. At level 19, you get 50 coins. At level 20, you get the APC fender, and it's just a simple, very simple fender, which is mirrored. It's the same on the left side as the right side. So in total, you get 4, you get 2 more later. But at level 20, you start with 2. At level 21, you get more banner customization. At level 22, you get a recipe for the normal Outcast. At level 23, we have a camo netting paint, which is very... Oh, what the hell? Yeah, you get a camo netting paint, which is very interesting. Can't really see it that well over here. I know this game doesn't have any camo and stuff, but I hope they made it right to where it seems that you have like a camo net on your build. I know War Thunder was able to do that. But I'm not sure if this game will also be able to... You know what I mean, right? Like there's some depth to the... It does kind of look like it. It's very small though. Maybe it would have looked a little bit better if it was slightly bigger. But yeah, this is a camo netting paint. Really, really cool though. Still not super high quality, but you know, it's alright. You won't really notice it from a distance. At level 24, you get epic quips. At level 25, you get the recipe for the Hail Duck, which always reminds me of that one movie from Bruce Willis, Unbreakable. At level 26, you get more coins. And at level 27, we get our first legendary weapon, the AR-27 Morgan. According to the technology tree, this is the same family as the other revolver. So you see the little connecting line here. It starts off with the Emily. Oh, God damn it. It starts off with the Emily, and then you get the Corvos, and now we have the AR-27 Morgan. And so it is classified as an uncategorized weapon, but it's still part of the revolver class. The Nagual is a cannon, and it's in the class of large caliber revolvers, and the Athena is a laser revolver, and the Lucifer is a rocket revolver. I'm checking because this thing is... It seems very mediocre. Like damage-wise and the way it handles seems perfect, but the reload is just extremely long. And people in the comments were asking for a Hadron combo, but since it's a revolver, it probably won't work. This thing sits at 2400 power score. You start with 7 pieces of ammo. It has 75% penetration. Durability is quite low for such a massive weapon. You can't really see it over here, but I'll show you on a build. Only 370 durability. Energy drain is 12, and it's pretty heavy too at 616 kilos. And the perk is kind of disappointing as well. Each hit on an enemy increases the reload speed by 4%. The effect stacks up for 7 times. Each miss cancels out the successful hit. And so I got a build over here, and you can shoot pretty fast with this thing. And as you can see, unlike the Nagual, the accuracy stays pretty good. But if you shoot all the rounds, look at that reload, boys. It is disgusting. And I got a Cyclops too on this thing. So what they say, what you need to do is you need to shoot 1 time, like do 1 shot, and then the reload will be faster, and then you can shoot again, and then the reload is fast. But if you shoot twice, the reload is slightly longer. But if you shoot all 3 times, the reload is atrocious. And 1 has a 3 times the charge, so the reload is going to be faster on that. Yeah, so basically that's how this weapon works. So let me just shoot all 3 at once. And this reload is going to be atrocious. Yeah, I wonder if there's a cool reload animation. Not really. It just ejects the cartridge out of it. Yeah, so the weapon, as you can see, is pretty large. I'm using the new cabin. And only 300 durability, I don't know about that. Let me fully charge this perk to see how fast the reload is. This is with a Cyclops. It's pretty alright. I'm just waiting for the reload. So let's shoot once. Let me shoot the wheels. Oh, wow. Where'd my perk go? I had like max perk. Let's see what happens if I shoot once. Oh, my perk is gone. What? 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 Wait, okay, what? So my perk disappears if I reload all 3 shells? Oh my god. Okay, let me fully charge it and see how fast one reloads. Okay, so not a super horrible weapon. But the reload between one single shot is still a little bit too long in my opinion. Yeah. And then this is max charge. And even at max charge, just reloading one shell. Oh my god. Why would I use this like this? And if I shoot all 3 times, my perk will disappear. Why would I do that? I think the perk should stay. That's an easy fix they can make to this weapon to make it viable. Look how big this thing. Look how big this thing is. Oh my god. Only 370 durability. You can flip it if you want, but yeah, that won't really matter. I mean, I guess you can hide it in something like an enclosed build. I wonder if this new observations part was made for this weapon. I don't think so, but yeah. The Morgan. That's the Morgan. Not impressed. At level 28, you get the lightweight versions of the 5x3 frames, the left side and the right side. At level 29, you get the 125 coins. At level 30, you get a recipe for the upgraded Morgan. At level 31, you get Victory Mark's hologram projector. So if you kill someone like the X splits in half or something like that. Let me show you guys what it looks like. Okay, so that's it. Just an X. That's pathetic. That's weird. We're gonna take a look at it again. That is the most disappointing looking hologram. It doesn't even look like what's happening here. Over here, it looks like a shell or a dart penetrates the axis. I don't know. Let's just move on. At level 32, you get a taunts container. At level 33, you get more banner customization stuff. At level 34, you get another recipe for... At level 34, you get a recipe for the normal AR-27 Morgan. At level 35, you get a new legendary weapon called the Sicara, which is a rocket launcher. And now the rocket launcher family is pretty much complete. Starting off with the Wasp, the Pyrolit, the Locust, and now we have the Sicara. Since it's in the same family of rocket launchers, it has pretty horrible durability, only 227. Starting ammo is 10, sits at 1200 power score. It's only 6 energy though, just like all those other rocket launchers instead of 8 as before. It's not super heavy, only 199 kilos, and the perk says if more than half the rockets from a salvo hit the target at a distance of 30 meters, the number of rockets in the next salvo will be increased by 1. Maximum number of rockets in a salvo is 4. If only half or less than half of the rockets from a salvo hit the target, 1 bonus rocket is removed. So pretty straightforward. I also got a build for this. And so if you're too close to the target, you won't get a charge. But if you are further away from the target, you will get a charge. So now I got 1 hit. So it has, let me see, it had 2 rockets in the volley. And so now it's 3. But if you miss more than half, so at least 2, or now it should be 4. Yep. The next one should be 5 shots, right? Oh no, just 4 rockets. Okay, so if you miss more than 2 of them, then the bonus is removed. So let's see. Let's miss 1 or 2 shot. Not bad. The bonus stayed. It was kind of hard to miss. But of course, in combat, it's going to be a little bit different. Let's see what a full stack looks like. Oh, that was interesting. Oh no, my generator's there. Okay, that's not bad, not bad. Pretty good explosion damage. Kind of similar to the Locust. Yeah, kind of similar to the Locust. And of course, we have the new cabin, but we'll get to that. It also has a special perk that increases the explosive damage. Huh. Pretty nice, pretty nice. This new cabin with these rocket launchers are going to be very interesting. I do want to check something out real quick because... Okay. 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 And of course, you can flip these in any way you want, any direction you want. Now, unlike the other rocket launchers, usually with the other rocket launchers, we mount them sideways. But for this one, the barrel is... I guess it could still work. Usually we just hide these. Yeah, so as long as the barrel is exposed, you should be able to fire normally. Also, one thing I forgot to mention, these have great elevation compared to the other ones. They don't fully rotate 360, but they have really good depression and elevation. They also have a digital display in the back, like a mini computer or laptop, which is very interesting. I didn't pay attention to it earlier, but let's see. Okay, it does do something. Will it show you how many are in the chamber? Oh, it does show you how. Okay, okay, cool little feature. It shows you how many rockets you will fire per barrel. That's cool. All right, that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. At level 36, you get more bearings. At level 37, you get a light 1x5 frame. At level 38, more coins. At level 39, a recipe for the upgraded Sicara. At level 40, a light version of the 3x5 frames. At level 41, you only get one blueprint storage cartridge. At level 42, you get a recipe for the normal Sicara. Level 43, more bearings. At level 44, we get the new RPG 105 Darling. And this is in the grenade launcher family, completely separate from anything else. Okay, so it says that it only does explosion damage, but that's not true. Let me see. Yeah, see over here, with the Slaughterer, it basically has the same perk as the Slaughterer, but over here it says it has hit and explosion, and it even gives you the penetration amount. But for some reason, they didn't do it for the RPG 105 because it does the same thing. You have a normal shot. If you're close range, it functions as a grenade launcher, but the range shot turns into a penetrating shot. It's also a normal energy weapon, 12 energy weapon, 2400 power score. Starting ammo is 17. Durability is quite nice, 715. It's a little bit on the heavy side, 911 kilos. And the perk says after the projectile has traveled 50 meters, it jettisons a stage and accelerates. The accelerated projectile has impact damage and its explosive energy is directed along its trajectory and penetrates enemy parts. See, there is penetration, they just don't. I don't know why they didn't mention it or show it here. I also have a build ready for that. And as you can see, this thing is also pretty massive. Really, really big. Very big mounting spots. You can also mount it like this, but that won't do you any good. You can indeed flip these as well. Not sure what that will do. I wonder if Crossout has something to where the projectile comes back down after a while. Nope. Oh yeah, these have a limited range. I don't know why I tested that out. Yeah, so let's shoot that boss over there. Actually, this range is not too bad. Okay, never mind. Oh, does it have damage drop off? It might have damage drop off. Yeah, anyways, this thing has a limited range. It just, actually it doesn't matter. Range is pretty good, but it does explode after a certain distance. Okay, so I found the range limit. It's all the way over here. It actually doesn't matter because I don't think anybody will be sniping with this weapon from this far away. What's also neat about this weapon is they actually created a separate rocket model for this thing. Apologies for the noise. I'm probably gonna mute it. But yeah, this is a brand new rocket model in the game. The old model is pretty hideous from the Cricket and all the other missile launchers. This one is new and very cool looking. And the second stage is also modeled. It's basically like a high explosive fin stabilized shell. Pretty cool. And so right now this is 50 meters. Oh, 300 penetration damage and 400 explosive damage. Interesting. I want to see if this thing has damage drop off. So I'm going to go a little bit further. Doesn't seem to have damage drop off. Let's start from in the garage. Oh yeah, it does have damage drop off. Let's try again. Okay, it does have it. And the normal grenade does same 400 damage. All right. Oh, Jesus. It feels like it's gonna be slightly easier to use than the Slaughterers. The fact because you don't have to hold down the button and time it and all that crap. As long as the target is far away, you can just click and fire and have like that special projectile. Now there's one more thing I need to test is because they mentioned something about a high penetration. So I want to see if it reaches the cabin because of the perk. I got layers and layers of structural parts over there. That's a crazy amount of damage. But it doesn't go straight to the cabin. I thought that's what they meant. It just has a crazy amount of penetration because they highlighted that this weapon would be good against bricks and giant spider builds because of its special penetration. So We'll have to see. Maybe try these out with an Nox in the future or something. All right, we spend enough time on this weapon. Let's move on. At level 45, we get another 1x5 frame. At level 45, we get 6 more 1x5 frames. So let me see. So in total, we get 10 because at level 10, we get 4 of them. And later on, we get another 6. At level 46, we get a tank crossing sticker. At level 47, you get a recipe for the upgraded Darling. At level 48, you get more banner customization. Level 49, you get more coins. At level 50, we get more of those heavy 5x3x1 frames. Left and right. At level 51, we get a recipe for the normal Darling. And at level 52, gentlemen and ladies, we get probably, it looks like a duck, they mentioned it in the stream, it looks like a little ducky face. We get the most overpowered weapon in the game. No joke, no clickbait, because check this out. I also have a vehicle for this. I'm gonna shoot 2. Oh, by the way, this thing also does damage if you hit the enemy. Look how long it lasts. The amount of damage. So for the entire time of the reload, missiles will fall. And if an enemy destroys the little beacon, the reload will be sped up by 50%. Crazy, right? And right now we have a Cyclops reload module only, and the reload is... It's long. It is long, but still pretty good. Once he... Okay, the damage sphere is not... Yeah, it won't... Yeah, okay, we can't really see what it does on the damage sphere. But yeah, you can only mount 2 of these on your build. It has crazy low energy. Only 4 energy! That is crazy. It's the first time I'm seeing this. Only 4 energy, fellas. This makes no sense. This is right now... This makes no sense. Right now, this is one of the strongest weapons in the game. Or weapons in the game. And it only costs 4 energy? What? Even with only 1, I think it'll be fine, man. Holy crap. Just shoot 1 on my car here. My car is pretty decent. It's not the best, but it's pretty decent. You can sell your... Wow. You can sell your mandrakes. You can sell your headers. You can sell your swarms. Just get 1 of these. That's a crazy amount of them. So, I like it, but it's way too strong. So for example, I can now do this. I can now have a normal cannon built like this. And as a secondary armament, I can have like a crazy, powerful airstrike. And then while that is going on, I can still shoot my... That is crazy. A little bit too strong. Dude, the trombone is 4 energy. Hold on. The trombone is the same energy. 4 energy. Oh wow. Okay, damn. We can even mount this. I think this thing is gonna completely change and break the game because I can now do this. Look at the trombone damage. 53. I know I'm glazing this thing a little bit because I think it's just absolutely ridiculous. Oh my god, dude. You don't even need the trombone, dude. It is crazy. Oh, sorry. I thought the reload was during the airstrike. No. After the airstrike, you still need to reload for quite a bit of time. I think the one way they could balance this out is just to increase the reload by a crazy amount. Yeah, you can just arc these over buildings and stuff like that. Range is also pretty good. Oh, it disappeared. Interesting. What happened to it? My drone somehow got destroyed or something, my turret. Oh, it doesn't work on the damage sphere probably, but it does work on... Oh no! Oh, a direct hit on the enemy does destroy it. Ah. I don't know, sometimes it destroys. I think when it lands on top and it has nowhere to like deploy or attach itself to the ground, it gets destroyed. But if it can hit the build and just bounce off and fall to the ground, it will still activate. Yeah, so it clearly hits the build because I deal damage, but then it just bounces on the ground. Yeah, that's it, man. Jesus Christ. Okay, I didn't even look at the parameters. One good thing is it only has 327 durability when it's upgraded. Starting ammo is 6. I think they could also reduce this, give it only 3 rounds. Durability is fine. I think this thing is way too strong, but we'll see what happens in PvP. I feel like you can only mount 2 on your build, but why would you not run this on your build, you know? So I think everybody, like, we'll have at least 4 people, 5 people running this thing in PvP, and it's just gonna be absolutely crazy. Now it says here, while the mine is active, there's an airstrike around a 25 meters radius, and the reload starts after the mine is destroyed. Now I do wonder if you can reduce that radius with the Spider cabin and all that stuff, but I'll do some testing on it in the future. Power score is only 800. That is crazy as well. Energy drain is 4. Absolutely crazy work. It's very light, very low durability. Not super low, but still kind of low. And this thing even has a perk to where if an enemy destroys a mine, the reload is 50% faster. And of course, you cannot flip this thing, but you can rotate it all around the place. It doesn't really matter though, because it will just automatically rotate to where you're looking, yeah. At level 50, we get more bearings. At level 54, we get more coins. At level 55, we get 2 more of those APC fenders. At level 56, you get a recipe for the upgraded Squall. At level 57, we get another profile customization. At level 58, we get 1 more of those observation compartments, so we get 2 in total. At level 59, you get a recipe for the normal Squall. At level 60, you get more bearings. At level 61, you get the absolute cabin, which is, I think right now, the smallest cabin in the game. Only 3 pins high. In terms of height, not in terms of size. It's not the smallest in terms of size, but only 3 pins high is crazy. Before I show off this cabin, I'll just continue on with the other parts. At level 62, you get 6 more of those light 1x5 frames, so you get 10 in total as well. At level 63, you get more stickers. At level 64, you get 6 more of those 3x5 frames, so again, also a total of 10. At level 65, you get a recipe for the normal absolute cabin. At level 66, I did not know we got another paint. We get the battle scars paint. Interesting. Would be cool if those whole bullet holes are glowing from the heat, but I'll take a look at that in a second. At level 67, we get a total of 4, actually 2 for each side. 2 left defense frontier and 2 right defense frontier bumpers, and these are their parameters. 177 durability, a little bit on the heavy side, but nothing too crazy. Has 90% resistance to ramp damage and 75% resistance to melee damage and 5% resistance to hit damage. At level 68, you get more bearings. At level 69, you get 6 more lightweight 3x5 frames. At level 70, you get more coins. At level 71, you get more bearings. At level 72, you get a very interesting horn, Call of Freedom. I couldn't hear it during the stream. Okay, kind of weird. At level 73, you get more coins. At level 74, you get 3 more of those lightweight corner frame, left side and right side. Level 75, you get another profile portrait. Rex, he is a captain if I'm correct. No, he's a major. Call sign Vagabond. And after that, of course, you can grind more to get additional weapons, bearings, containers, and all that good stuff. All right, now let's take a look at this new cabin. It has like a pocket here for the ammo reserve, which is pretty nice. 3 blocks high or 3 pins high, 9 pins long, and 8 pins wide, with a little gap here for a movement bar or something. Sits at 2100 power score, it adds 24 energy. Top speed for this one, since it's upgraded, is 82 kilometers per hour. Mass limit when it's upgraded is 13,640, pretty nice. Durability is 347 when upgraded. It has like the best perks, durability, speed, and mass limit. And this thing basically has a similar perk to the Harpy cabin, but I don't know how I feel about it, because unlike the Harpy's perk, this one disappears. So as the damage is dealt with any weapon, it accumulates up to 10 charges, each of which equals to 1 second of active time. The higher the rarity of the weapon, the more damage you need to deal to accumulate the charges, kind of like the Catalina and the Beacon 11. Upon activation, increases the projectile blast radius by 40%, and the weapons no longer use ammo. Manual deactivation saves the remaining charges after deactivation, and it recharges for 4 seconds. Now I'll be honest, the first thing that came to mind was, you know, the new revolver, because the reload is so gosh dang long. But unfortunately, fellas, let me accumulate a few charges. I think they should just reduce the energy of this thing and let us mount 3 of them on a build, because man, this reload is atrocious. Okay, I got 3 charges. So for when I activate the cabin's perk, I should no longer use ammo, but it still uses the ammo in the weapon, but it doesn't consume the ammo from the ammo supply, if that makes sense. So if I activate this, I can shoot 3 times. I had 5 ammo, and it's still gonna be at 5 ammo, but I still have the long revolver reload. So that's basically all it does. You get slightly more explosion radius when the perk is active, 40%. And for the Harpy, I believe it is how much? For the Harpy cabin, it is 20%. I'm not sure if there's a difference because over here it does say increases the projectile blast radius, and for the Harpy cabin it says boost explosion radius. So maybe this new cabin's perk also works with hit damage. So this thing only does hit damage. We're gonna test it out right now. A normal shot does 380 damage. Oh wow, that's actually a lot higher than I thought. Oh. Maybe that's why the reload is so long. So again, normal shot 380. If I activate the perk, still 380. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think it does anything for hit damage, to be honest. Let me try it on my Leviathan. I'm gonna activate the perk. Nope, still 380. I think it's still explosion radius, but it's just worded differently. And this is what the new paint looks like, the Battle Scars paint. Looks kind of cool. I do think those holes are slightly glowy. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it is time. I wanted to see if this thing had... Okay, so the rocket launchers, I mean... Yeah, you can use the new rocket launchers on a heli. Somebody wanted to see this as well, so... There we go. Works alright. But now they're mounted sideways. I think if you mount them the correct way up, you'll have a lot more, you know, aiming angles to the bottom, to the ground. The new grenade launcher should also work. I don't think these have bullet drop. Yeah, so they're gonna be super duper easy to aim. Yeah, no bullet drop on a grenade launcher sounds weird. And you guys saw the projectile. This is not a grenade. I don't know why. I think they classified it as a grenade because they don't want it to work with the Spider Cabin's perk. It would be too powerful, perhaps? Alright, fellas, it is now time to finally check out the new grenade launcher, the Destroyer. Sits at 3600 power score, only does explosive damage. Starting ammo is a whopping 150. That's actually kind of crazy. Durability is quite nice. It's the reverse of 115, which is 511. Energy drain is 12. NAS is 434. Very light. Very light for something this big. Jeez. It reminds me of the Titan cannon from Command and Conquer's Tiberium Sun. Is it Tiberium Sun? No, it's Kane's Rat or something like that. And the perk says every successful hit made at a distance of 20 meters accumulates a charge. After a full cooldown, each charge will increase the damage of a single shot by 50%. I'll be honest, I tested this thing out, and with or without a perk, it doesn't feel different. It just deals a crazy amount of damage always. I love the design of this thing as well. It comes with like 6 ammo boxes. And they're all being, well, you only see 3, but I'm assuming there's like, should be 6. And it's all being fed by this mechanism over here to all the barrels. I don't even know how the bottom ones get fed though. Yeah, it doesn't make sense how the bottom ones get fed, but you know, it's a game. Doesn't matter. So what I got right here is a whopping 5 Aquilo radiators, because this thing still overheats and the perk never stops. You can basically charge the perk an infinite amount, but a match never lasts that long. So you'll never get like the highest perk. I got up to like 200, but for you guys, I'm gonna see how high I can get right now. In the meantime, you guys can check out the damage. It's not crazy because the Draco can do more. For example, the Draco with the Photon can deal 999 damage within the same time, and the Gravastars as well. But just the sheer spread of this thing and the devastation, these are gonna be like way more effective. So I gotta keep doing this. I got 78 charges. This is without perk, by the way, just normal damage, but I can still keep charging it. I just gotta cool them down. The perk won't activate until I fully cool them down. I wonder if a miss... Oh, a miss doesn't decrease it, it just doesn't charge it. Okay. I'm about to run out of ammo at some point, so I gotta use my Pandora. Hold on, fellas. I gotta shoot a carcass here, or I gotta kill something and get my ammo back with the Pandora. Oh no, I overheated them. No, I'm at 269 charges, which took a very long time. I don't think anybody will ever get to 269. I shot for a very long time. So if I shoot at the ball, the sphere now, you see a different effect on the bullets. I ran out of ammo. I'll be right back. All right, I got around 28 charges. I'm not gonna charge it all the way again. I just want to show you guys the damage with 50% more damage per projectile. So as you can see, way more damage, but still no 999. I do think though, if you use this in clan wars against leviathans or normal bricks, they are completely cooked. It shoots so fast. It also has range and pretty good projectile speed. Look at that, man. Absolutely crazy. I got like a normal PvP build over here. If I just surprise this guy. Yeah, that's crazy. Like the explosion radius of these and just the explosion damage and just the damage and it's just absolutely crazy. I don't know why these bars are not maxed out. Effective range should be pretty high. Accuracy should be pretty high. Time to overheat is, well, okay, should be pretty low. Explosion damage should be crazy high, maxed out. Now, if I remove all the cooling abilities, now this is a grenade launcher, just like the Retcher, so they do overheat quite fast. And once they do overheat, it takes a very long time to cool down again. Yeah, and so that is the last item I need to show you guys. Now, one thing I did not show you guys is the verses or the perks you get with the item. So for the Darling, you get more durability, a faster reload, and a faster projectile speed. Very nice. For the Sicara, you get the same thing. For the Morgan, you get the same thing. And for the Squalls, you pretty much get the same thing, but a faster activation delay. For the Outcast, you get more durability and penalty reduction. The other upgrades you can get for the Darling are less mass, resistance, damage, explosion radius, ammo reserve, and a faster rotation speed. We pretty much already got the God Fusion. For the Morgan, same thing, mass, resistance, damage, penetration ability is slightly higher. You can also get range, less spread, or projectile speed. For the Squall, you get more durability, less mass, resistance, airstrike radius increased. Interesting. Active time can also be increased and a reload. Activation delay, ammo reserve, and rotation speed. And for the Sicara, we have mass, resistance, damage, explosion radius, spread, and rate of fire. That could be interesting. Rate of fire. And for the cabin, we got the same ones as all the other cabins: power, cabin tonnage, mass, speed, explosion, SD time reduction, built-in radar, you know, the regular stuff. For the red chair, you get more durability, less mass, you know, the same stuff as every weapon: projectile speed, rate of fire. Rate of fire would be crazy with this. Or less spread. Yeah, good God. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys found it informative. If you did, I hope I earned your like and a subscription to the channel. If you guys want to see more, you can do that by watching one of these two videos over here, and I'll see you there in a minute. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Peace.